Let's take a look at the next drill in our Flutterfly series on the right. Now, in previous progressions of this, what we were doing is we were using three pieces of equipment. So we've used blades, we've used a snorkel, and then we've used fins. So at this point, we're dropping the blades, we're also dropping the snorkel. So we're going to introduce the complexity or variable of taking the breath, which is really important to have this timing down when our athletes are performing this drill. Let's go over the key items of the drill and the things that we really look for. So as we mentioned, this progression of the drill is performed with the flutter kick. So we're going to look over the items of the flutter kick, and we want to make sure that the things we've been emphasizing up to this point in the flutter kick are going to be consistent with what we've been emphasizing. So here we look for the toes to be pointed, which we have achieved by wearing fins on both feet right there and right there. Now, what we like to look for is a natural knee bend here in the knee. So what does that mean? Because that can be something that's pretty subjective to a lot of people. An extreme here would be if the legs are going to stay straight. You're going to get a lot of power out of this. However, what the shortcoming that we find is just then the legs are going to burn out and not have the ability to stay kicking at that speed for a long period of time. So the more we can kind of stay away from this, the better. Now, the other extreme would be if we would be having our knees approaching anywhere near a 90-degree angle bend in the knee like this. If we were kicking like this, we'd be kicking a lot of air moving up and down, barely making any contact with the surface of the water. And as a result, we're not going to really be moving through the water at all. Now, the opposite's also going to hold true if we're like this. If those knees are kind of coming in under the body, and what we would see is just a lot of flexion here going up and down, creating a lot of turbulence, but again, not really having that power going to where we would like it to be. So that natural knee bend that we talk about here is really important, finding that balance. So as that foot is coming up right here, what we want to make sure and kind of think about here is that we have a ball under the body right here. And as that foot's coming down, we're going to look at that right foot right there. It's got to get down, and then we have to be able to make a forceful contact here with that foot. So when we do that, what we're going to be able to do is have a very strong kick then behind us, remembering that we want to bring that foot back up to the surface so that way we can create this turbulence that we see here. We like for our athletes to kind of have this picture in their head of white water, boiling water, or thunder kick. Find whatever cue works for your athletes and just focus with them to keep their feet up here at the surface when they're performing the movement. Now let's take a look here at the arm. So the right arm is going to be performing here, meaning the left arm is going to be staying up in front of the body right here, passively just kind of going along for the ride. Let's look at the exit point. So here we kind of like to look and kind of think about let's redraw that actually right there. We like to think about having a range for an exit point right here. We generally find that the closer that the hands stay up here to the hip area is where we like to see the athletes kind of keep their arms. However, if they kind of go near anywhere in that suit area is also going to be, we find it all right. So just kind of being somewhere here in this range is going to be what's important. The arm is going to come over the water, and we want that arm to stay very low to the surface of the water, just kind of above. Now, our athlete on the left side was incredible at this. We feel like this is a little high for him. However, we still could get that hand down just a little bit more. The fun part is when your athletes are getting to a decently good level And it becomes a little bit more about those kind of finer details, which is really fun to be able to explore that with your athletes. As that hand here is coming out, what we want to see is that palm here facing behind us as we're going over the water. And then when that arm starts to make a T here with the body, then what we want to do is relax that hand so that that palm goes down and then it travels in front. So see that kind of right there, how that changed right there? That takes any pressure here off of the shoulder area. And then what we want to be able to do is make the contact with the water on top of the shoulder line. It's really just, again, important for the athletes just in general. Our age group athletes and senior level athletes, we like them to be at this point right here, landing on top or in front of the shoulder. Our developmental athletes, we actually kind of like them being just outside. So if we can kind of see where the arm is right here, that would be just kind of perfect. Then on that landing, what we want to be able to do is emphasize a forward stretch while pushing the chest downward. This will really help get the hips to get up and then to have, again, that strong kick here behind us. Now, the other variable with this is going to be, when do we take the breath? This is can in some ways make or break the stroke, or really make or break the connection or timing of everything. So it's really important to take the breath as that hand is kind of passing that shoulder. We're going from pull to push phase right here, and then we take the breath. Look how low we are to the surface of the water, not much rise. And then as that hand starts to get over the water, what do we see our athlete doing? Getting that head down. And then what we should see is that stream of water right here is kind of going up and forward as we're moving through the water. If we would kind of have a landing where we kind of see something like this, we always kind of say X marks the spot. Not in this case with butterfly. That should tell you the chest and the arms and everything are all landing together, and we don't really want to see that. And then we just kind of keep repeating those items. So we want to get that head down quickly, take that fast breath, and then move through. So here again, just another view of the pointing of the toes on the kick. Here's great job. This foot here is at its highest point, and again, we've got to really force that leg to get down. Now here we could get even a little bit more under the body as we're going through. Actually, both feet could potentially get through just a little bit more. That would really help the depth of the kick and getting a little bit more power out of it. On our return view here, we're again just doing a great job. Here we see that one arm butterfly, arm nice and low to the surface. Strong kick here behind us. Take that breath. So here, just kind of see the chin being at the surface. Get that head down, land, and stretch nice and forward. And again, just keep repeating. Focus on not just spinning the arms, but also on that landing. And our athlete here can even do a good job with this, is to really push through on that landing position just a little bit more. And as we take a look at the catch movement, so here on that landing, we kind of see the arm pressing a little bit here deep. We'd like to see this arm be up here a little bit closer to the surface, just to kind of keep both the arms be even. And now taking a look, what we want to see is when we're at this point, we want to draw a straight line going down, meaning that the hand should be here closer to being under the shoulder. When we're able to do that, what we're going to be able to do is formulate this power triangle right here. This power triangle is essential for our athletes to be able to have a very, very nice, strong, powerful pull and push phase of their catch. Actually, just redrawing that. So here our athlete could bring in that arm a little bit more closer to the body, which would help round out that shape. And remember, athletes are going to be able to have different ability levels and different ranges of motion. So it's just really important to give those athletes continual feedback with what they're doing and how they're moving through the water. If you found some great value out of this, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. It really helps us out.